Yo, Mrs. Berry, what's up?
You started already?
Yeah.
No, don't even get my
Oh, yo, she only got her headphones on.
Oh, you fair. You ready? Hold on.
Damn, let's give her applause. We're waiting. Come on, crowd. I know your hands are getting tired. Oh, hey, the crowd is starting to get upset and angry. Uh-oh. Dang. Finally. Hello, Mrs. Berry.
Hi, Mr. Berry. Oh, my Lord.
You sit here and watch me say, hey, let's start.
I know. I thought you said you was going to look at your phone. When I said, what we're going to talk about, you said, let me look at my phone. Next thing I know, I'm like, wait, what's going on?
Just for the record, we're like 3 feet apart from each other. So, but yeah, I was going to my phone and then I realized I need some organization in my notes. I'm just trying to. I'm endlessly scrolling through notes of I don't know. I need a better system. That's what I've been looking to.
Yeah, my husband didn't give me any warning. He said, hello. My headphones was not even on my ears. The cord was still stuck up under something.
Oh, man.
I'm like, I'm trying to scramble for real. I thought I had a minute. We get the testing before we go live, mostly.
I know. Sometimes we're like, let's just roll. Let's just roll it. But, yeah, I mean, today is a good day.
Hello.
Hey. Today it's hot outside, of course. I'm just complaining because it's hot everywhere, apparently.
Yeah, we've been having some record-breaking temperatures here lately.
And only ain't like I just be outside in it, but I do because I garden. I do a whole big backyard garden. It's a test out there. It's like so warm, even at 9 o'clock, trying to do that evening water. You really got to get out there early or else it's like you're wasting water. But that's neither here nor there.
Right, exactly.
Your sunflower has the biggest head out of all the sunflowers, though.
Yeah,
by far. It's so big of a head that it's like hanging over, like, you know.
Yeah, the weight of the sunflowers that makes it look droopy.
And she don't like that. I'm just telling you, that's just the life cycle. They lean over, they can drop them seeds out, and then life goes on.
But the other sunflowers look so bright and happy and like wide.
Because yours is the first one, and you like the OG one. It's time for it to plant some predecessors or however you call it.
It never had a happy day though. It didn't come out happy. It came out drooping.
No, it fought the hell. It fought the I don't know what people call it. That whatever happened that destroyed everything. It seemed like around the city, but it survived. The leaves was messed up, but it had the biggest leaves.
It's like me this year. It's like me.
It's
here.
Resilient. So it's still tall regardless of what Mother Nature threw. Which, you know, Mother Nature don't care who you are.
But I always go out there when I do my videos and say resilience. This is a resilient garden. But then I kind of abandoned it after this last thing when it looks like a resilient garden.
I mean, it's like it knocked down, the weather knocked down the fence, the weather knocked down the greenhouse, our big greenhouse, but the sunflower stood tall out there in the open by itself. It wasn't nothing propping it up, but itself, those roots.
That's true.
Rooted in resilience.
That is true. They got holes in the leaves and everything. Biggest leaves out there now. But there's holes in all of the leaves that survived.
Like, I know people think we're not a garden podcast. It's just the lessons to be learned when you pay attention to outside.
And the name of the podcast literally is Rooted in Resilience.
Yeah, Berry Unearthed. It just sounds. We like it because it's a good parallels when you think about life, and it's just one of the living cycles and how we're parallel. We're not so different in the cycle of things like anything else on this planet.
Yeah, and the funny thing is, we just so happen to, be involved with gardening and farming and those type of things. And so why not use those parallels? Because we see it, nature is totally, if you study nature, you'll realize some things they just happen. You can't even do anything about. And then some things, the cause and effect,
Yeah. It's something, this world is big. When you start paying attention to the world, it's not as small as you think. We as people think, because, we're at the top of the food chain, we think everything is small, but the world outside of humans is vast.
Oh my gosh. That's why we have to learn to build structures, because we can't deal with the outside elements and the dangers and the nocturnal hunters and things like that, the meat eaters.
That's why I'm thinking like some of these you know how I be like the parallel of how humans, how easy us having this brain able to build the shelters. You don't think deer build shelter if they could? Man, some of these animals got to come out knowing how to walk and run like soon.
Or freeze.
Yeah.
You better camouflage, baby.
You better know how like they come out knowing like, oh, this is a sick world. It's gonna always be sick.
Yeah.
I can't build a metal structure to keep the lions and the goons out. You know, I can't build this.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, but anyways, that's a super deep sidebar based off watching too much Animal Planet. But I mean, it's just about, I get to a point where I start, you start trying to figure out why this, why life, why that. And then you have to go look at other life. You have to go look at other things. You have to look outside yourself and your way of thinking to try to just wonder, because it's all theories at the end of the day. So that's
true. And then I'm gonna be the devil's advocate on that portion. Sometimes you have to look within yourself and shut out all the outside things, to find out who you are. Because sometimes you're looking for people, like I know myself, sometimes I look for answers from people, confirmation, permission, or something outside of myself, when the truth of the matter is God's like, what you want to do? Close all that stuff up, shut out all those voices, get alone, sit still, get quiet, get to know yourself, and you figure out within yourself who you are.
Now, I wouldn't think that would be a devil's advocate thing. I think that's would be actually the first step. You got to figure out who you are first before you can go outside of yourself.
Right.
You got to know who you are before you can get over who you are.
You can't bring your genuine self to the table if you don't know who you are. So you're going to be attracting the wrong crowd in a sense, because you're camouflaging to whatever you think that you're supposed to be in this environment or this scenario, which I'm not saying anything is wrong with that, because we know there's a time and place for everything.
True.
But at the same time, who are you genuinely?
Yeah.
Who are you? Do you know who you are? Do you change who you are when you go in certain scenarios? You know what I'm saying? Do you feel like you have to change? Do you change because you feel a certain way, or you feel like you're supposed to be this person here and that person there?
Yeah.
I used to be that to the point where I didn't even know who I was anymore. Not on purpose, but because I was people pleasing. That I was trying to please each environment, each person, to the fact that I didn't know what I wanted, what made me happy. And I just felt overwhelmed because I'm having all these thoughts and doing all these things that weren't even me to begin with.
True that.
So.
Yeah, man, it's just the process, the learning. It's just sometimes when you take the L and a lesson is going to come, sometimes you get kind of upset about it because you're like, oh, I always got to learn all these lessons. And you don't really realize how great the lesson will be till after you learn it. And then you're thankful for that lesson.
You don't even realize it's a lesson until after you go through it. And a lot of times, years later on the other side, you look back like, oh, dang, that's what that was. Like when I always say hindsight is 20/20. Sometimes it takes you to be removed from it, a whole different person in a whole different place, before you can look back on the situation and then see exactly what you were supposed to learn coming up out of it. And
like the thoughts, they don't go nowhere. They're still there. They're just sometimes they come out. You think about something random and you just don't know why you thought about that. You don't even understand it because you're not even that. It got to you a little early, but it's still there. So you know how you'll say something or somebody say something to you, like you said with the lady with the business thing. You looked at her like, what you talk about business? I ain't doing no business. But it always stuck with you. Like, why would she say that? And then until you have your moment, you're just like, oh.
Yeah, when it started happening, I'm like, oh my God, I've been business all along. I just didn't recognize it. Oh my gosh, like this is a pastor, a preacher. I'm like, how dare she be in the church, a pastor, tell me that being a pastor and in the church and theology not my call. I'm in my mind. I ain't say it out loud, y'all. I'm in my mind.
Yeah.
I don't want nothing to do with business. I don't do numbers like that. All these excuses and reasons why business was not for me.
To the point you used to tell me you didn't do numbers, but here lately she be spewing off numbers like a dang calculator. Like, come on, man. She's how like Bruce Leroy, the teacher said, hey, I can't teach you no more. Not because you can't be coachable or teachable. It's because, no, you are now the master. You know everything I know.
Yeah, I don't know what you talking about.
Yeah, that's how she be doing. she the master. She be trying to ask me for stuff like, why you asking me? You know, heck, she be having to help me on some things now because she be out there thinking, and I be trying to figure out, what's going on, and it sometimes be frustrating. But then we get to that point, I was like, oh, this is why I should be Mr. Miyagi in me, and she don't even realize it, which is a scary superpower and all that, But,
yeah, we was talking today about like in the beginning how different we were, and he posted on Facebook that once upon a time we used to argue because he didn't see the purpose in life insurance and health insurance and all that type of stuff.
Car insurance.
And
I want phone insurance.
I used to fuss, and I used to always try to get the insurance and the manufacturer's warranty and da-da-da. And he's like, and now he will. If I don't want to, he'll be like, you don't think we? Now he does.
Yeah, I'm just trained by. I'm about to.
He can explain life insurance to you because guess what? He ended up working at a life insurance company, learning all that stuff, having to pass tests and stuff for his employment to learn that. Then he understood the reason.
And only accepted that job out of desperation. Well, insurance, and then went in there, took the FINRA Series 6, passed it on the first try. I'm just like, oh.
Then he started seeing stuff differently when he was on the other side of it, on the inside.
Sometimes my wife don't understand. Sometimes I need like a hell of a...
Right, like he said, Mr. Miyagi, I sent him up in there. He had to go learn up close and personal and see it.
It's not that I don't believe her. It's just I don't know how my brain is just wired to where I need to see it like right there. I need to see, not just see it like on paper, but I need to see it work. Or I don't know. It's weird. It's kind of weird, man. We all got our different processes, and mine's is just, not only do I need to see it, I need to believe that you believe what you're telling me.
And I need to believe that it works.
Yeah.
Like he needs to know that it works. Like he can see it, he can know you believe it. But if he don't see it working, sometimes he's gonna be like,
I'm like, was this, you just told me this because of this, or was it because really this? How, or if you make me believe that it can work, or that because she's good at doing that. She's good at selling me on some extravagant stuff. And I was just like, yeah, and it might be at that point because I'm a student of, I like to learn how to do things myself, which it'll be easy to pay for the stuff, but how can I troubleshoot if I don't know how? How do I know what I want if I don't learn how to do it first? That's always been my thing.
That's why I know I'm the CEO type, y'all, because I like to think of the idea, I give it out there, and then he figure it out. He like, okay, that's a good idea.
Yeah.
Let's figure out how to make it happen. I don't know how to make it happen or whatever, but I know I can pick out a good idea. I can pick out what's wrong with something. I can pick out what needs to be improved over here. I can figure it out by looking at it. I can tell you about it, but how you do it, I don't know.
But she'd be like, I'll be like, how's it gonna work? She's like, you figure that out. Like, how are we gonna do that? She like, I'm sure.
I'm gonna leave that to planning.
She's like, I'm sure you can figure out the logistics. Like,
I'm gonna leave that to planning. I'm gonna play my role.
She can sell the dream of it 100% complete. Of course, she can tell me all the bells and whistles it's gonna have, but it's just, me. I got to figure out how we get to point A to point B. So,
I done saw it. Now he just got to make it happen in real life.
And that's man. I get it. It's a tough thing to be in business with your best friend, with the love of your life, with the mother of your children, and try to keep personal, and business.
Yeah.
I think that's how I know.
They be crossing the boundaries, the lines all the time. Can't go on a date without talking about, this for Crystal Dairy Farms or blah, blah. Yeah. Like, oh my God, babe, we need to focus. We can't focus. We got to focus on each other. But then it's like focusing on each other is focusing on the business. Yeah. It's crazy.
First of all, we get trapped into, hey, we about to watch some TV. We on some mindset videos or some how to do some business. It's kind of getting to like, how like those, I think we done turned to those square people that crave knowledge. Like it's just all we care about is the knowledge and how it is an application and what does this look like to the world and how could this and how we can, it's kind of so many, and it seems so boring to most people, I know, but dang, it's exciting.
Mm-hmm. It is. And it's like we on this journey together. That's the most exciting part about all of it. On the health journey together, on the plant-based journey together, on the business journey together. We went on the stock market journey together, trading journey together. Just, this is my partner for life, and we doing all these things together. So we're learning, we're making our mistakes together, building together, growing together, all of it. So that's just the beautiful thing about it, having my life partner and best friend to do it with.
Yeah, man, and that is just,
it feel like a dream sometimes.
They do. I was just like, man, sometimes I be like, man, it's like it just took I don't think people really understand. It just seemed like the world stopped. And it's like for the first time in years, I don't know how long, maybe since a child, able to realize that, hey man, all this stuff, everything is fake. We don't have to, there are no rules to the game. You can play many different versions of the same game. That's the thing. It's not stuck. And that's something about the mind. It's something like, when a kid, you don't have the world stresses. You're not worried about rent and bills and your children and all this. When
you can imagine, living your imagination.
As a kid, your only stresses is you go to your boy's house and he can't come outside. So you're like, oh damn, we gotta do something else. I gotta go play with such and such. It's
or the Wi-Fi down.
Yeah.
Like recently.
I don't know about these kids. They act like anyways, but I'm saying like when you grow up and they'll grow up and realize like, dang, I was worried about Wi-Fi. Like it's so much more. So I can see how you can lose those dreams when you get into what they call the real world. And they tell you it's the real world because that's the only world they know. How can they tell you about someone else's real world if they only know what they do, the same thing you do? So I don't know. It's not a jab at anything. It's just saying you can play different. You don't have to stay at the same level. You can apply for the highest level you want. I've realized a lot of these companies, especially the big companies, man, there'd be like hundreds of jobs across the country. I could apply for any of them positions that's higher than the position I like. I didn't think to do that because of small-minded thinking.
When I think about it, I meet people all the time. I moved here because my husband got a job here.
I've been like, how could people do that?
They would go wherever the opportunity was. They wasn't confined. That was me too. Yeah. I wasn't confined to one place. I left Chicago to go to the Marine Corps. I went to South Carolina, then North Carolina, then California, and then I moved back to Chicago, and then I moved to Oklahoma. I mean, that was me. Going different places. It's not, opportunities are not confined to one place. Weird?
You got me to the point where I finally really like, hey, we can move.
You told me that from day one though. You told me wherever, this one thing, one of the things I always say that I feel like made me fall in love with you because I knew you were serious. We was just hanging out with the friends, and we were at their house kicking it. And I said something and you just stopped what you were doing, like got serious, looked me in my eyes and was like, I don't care where you want to go. You was like, I'll follow you to the moon and back. You was like, if you want me to. And I was like, wow. And we've been together ever since.
I always tell her that. I know it bugs you sometimes. I'll be like, yeah, if you want me to. Don't.
But see, I'm going to need him to want to, y'all. I'm not the type that ever pushes myself, my decision or whatever on anybody. And so I be wanting to know what he want to do, but then he won't tell me.
No, that's not the truth. She don't like what I want to do.
That's not true, y'all. He don't be telling me half of the time.
Yes, I do, man. It's because I'm telling you, I'm like so simple. She don't understand how my level is simple. Now she got she's opened me up to other things too that's gonna help my simple, and that's trying to run this automated money out here. So I'm gonna be doing a whole bunch of little everything, making people sick and tired of me. But whatever. I mean, this is my life to me. This is our life to us, and it's really about, it just is what it is.
One day at a time. It's living in the now and doing what you can to prepare for the future, but not making it about the future. It's like being where you are right now. Like I'm a giver. I've been called a gifted giver before. And at one point I got ahead of myself because I started feeling discouraged. Like I don't have a lot to give, I'm not rich and blah, 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 blah. And then now it's like, I've been doing right by giving where I am. It don't matter if it's $10 or $150. If you give it from the heart, then that's what matters. So it's like, give what I can. And one day my gifts might have been $10. They've grown some. And then one day, guess what? I might be able to give a gift for $10,000, $15,000.
A homeless man, he gained me on that. I know he was trying to manipulate, but regardless if he was trying to manipulate or not, the truth is truth. He was like, what do you matter what I do with the money? It's how you give it. I know it was game, but it's real. It shouldn't matter because it's like if $10 to me ain't nothing, but $10 to him could whatever. Why should I care?
But my thing wasn't the amount. That's the thing. I'm a giver. I give the last of anything I have. My thing was I was starting to get bitter by feeling used and, you know, getting mad people wasn't doing the same thing back. But that doesn't matter because if I'm doing it, I've learned now to do it only because I want to do it, because it's in my heart.
Man, good people.
Because when I was just doing it to do it, a lot of people would take advantage of that. And I had to stop. I had to put up some boundaries because that was making me change and making me not be my authentic self. And I was hurting myself in that process, you know.
And you nice people out here, man. Stop thinking your nice deeds, someone's going to do it back to you, because y'all don't understand how much of a unicorn y'all are in 2023, and y'all need to preserve that mental and learn boundaries.
I'm learning. It's adjusting because I have some people, you know, some things in my life shifting around, people in my life shifting around, and it was uncomfortable. Yeah. But I'm okay with it now because these things had to happen, and these things are happening so I can be who I am. And I'm not going to apologize. I always talked about it before, but I didn't really live it. I'm living it now. I'm not apologizing for being me. You know, I'm genuine. I love you. I love you. You know, it is what it is, but I'm not going to sit up and do things if I'm not feeling like doing it. I'm not going to feel obligated to. You know, I'm going to support because I want to support there because I want to be there. It makes me feel good. Yeah. And that's that, you know, but it's all love, you know, any other way. And like you said, hopefully one day we be to the point where our support is what we send to you in the mail. You know, if we can't be there, that our can't grace you with our presence, we're gonna grace you with our presence. Yeah. So.
Yeah. I can see, you know, me. I always said that, and of course, like you said, I've been having dreams about it, like trying to hide. Trying to literally in the dream, trying to run, like physically run away. Like whoever my dream avatar was, it got me wanting to be fit because he was killing it.
It got me. Every time you say something like that, made me think about your dad. I promise. Yeah. He was like, boy, over there, a preacher. Tomorrow, I know you're going to be a preacher. I'm like, oh, look, I couldn't picture that.
Anybody know me is cracking up right now.
I see you are a leader, a natural born leader. Like you try to hide, like you say about me, you try to hide. But you are very intelligent. You are a good guy, good energy. That's why everybody, you know, they know you cool and you don't have any negative ill will towards people. That's one thing about you, you know. Even if somebody do something, I don't see you ever just plotting revenge or whatever. You're like, I don't know why somebody would do that, but whatever. You know, I'm keep on doing what I do. That's what I see you do.
This gardening stuff is working on calming my soul, like completely. I don't know what just
sound like it was something, but it still sounds good, you know.
Okay, like I don't know what just happened, but yeah, it's I don't know. So this gardening is working on like calm in this brain, because his brain always thinking and worried about this and that, and it's just slowly getting to the point where I'm starting to care less. I'm not saying not care because it's impossible to not care. You care to a certain extent. But to not care to the point where I'm not going to burden myself with a whole bunch of things that I can't affect directly either way. So I know that I don't know if that sounds cold. I try to put it in a way that don't sound cold. Not saying I don't care about the world. I do care. I can't let it affect it where it's going to affect my home and my children and our ability to move into this future. Because me stressing and being depressed about everything out there is not. It's not going to help us out if I'm so depressed that we can't do nothing to move forward.
Right. So, and it's definitely not going to prepare the children. That's what I have to tell myself too. Definitely not going to prepare the children for this real world and not doing them any favors. So got to take care of us first. Like they say on the airplane, like the stewardess always tells you, if you hit that turbulence or if the mask fall down, put your mask on first. And then once you got your breathing together, you good, you take care of the person next to you. Because you know what'll happen? Imagine you put their mask on first and then you pass out because you didn't give yourself oxygen. They can't do nothing. They don't know how to do it. They can't do for you what you were doing for them. So you got to take care of yourself first. That's the most important thing.
Like, you're right. If you can't take care of yourself, how can you take care of somebody else?
I'm learning that. And you know, I've always put myself on the back burner, and you bring that to my attention. You be like, baby, you don't do nothing for you. baby, you need to do stuff for you.
Yeah.
And you realize too, though, I get a lot of my joy by doing stuff for others. Like, I'm just a natural, I don't even know, sometimes make me feel like something's wrong with me. Like, why do I like to do stuff for people and give? And y'all don't take it the wrong way. I've learned, even with my time, I can't give my time to everybody because I can't be everywhere at one time. And I'm learning that. So I'm learning boundaries and things like that. But I am also learning that it's okay. I'm a real giver. I just got to learn strategic ways to give. I just can't give everything. I just have to give strategically too.
Like time is a big thing to ask.
Time is the biggest gift.
Time is the biggest gift, and just because someone wants your time don't mean they deserve. Just because you desire your time, they don't deserve your time.
I like what Dr. John Maxwell said on this mindset thing we was watching, when he said he loves everybody. He was like, I love everybody. Everybody gets my love automatically. He said, but my time, that's a limited, that's a finite resource. I don't have unlimited amount of time. I can only give time to certain people. So you got to you have to deserve my time. Now, my love, I give, you got that. I love you. But my time, you have to deserve my time. I can't just give my time any and everywhere.
Yeah.
Because it takes away too much from me. Like my time, my peace, it costs too much. And then
the thing is, we grow up not understanding how valuable time is. So then we give away time for cheap. And we didn't realize time is the most valuable, unreplaceable resource. Like no one knows how much they got of it. So
nobody.
You really have to treat every second according to you, how you live with your life.
It's a gift. Yeah. Like I said, the present is literally a present when you look at it that way. And then when you start looking at it that way, you're not worrying about all the things that go wrong. Man. You're like, oh, I'm still here. I'm still alive. I still have all 10 of my fingers, all 10 of my toes. I have my legs, I have my arms, my mind is functioning.
It's so important because even though we know, we still have to remind ourselves
that's the things we need to be thankful for. That's one of the big things I think with like say with Christianity, right? They teach you to pray when you wake up, to pray when you go to bed, to give thanks when you wake up. Yeah. So when you live in a state of thankfulness and gratitude, it's really hard to focus on the negative if you're really doing it. Yeah. Like if you know to do it, but you don't do it, then you're not going to get those results, But if you're actually doing it and you see those results, you're going to keep doing it. If it's working, something working, you're going to keep on doing it. So you proclaiming and you being thankful every day. And then you realize, I used to do this. If I missed starting the day off a certain way that was working for me, something to go so wrong. Yeah. And then I'd be like, I backtrack my day. I'd be like, oh, dang, I didn't take the time to pray. I didn't take the time to listen to my worship music this morning or whatever. I would notice, I can pinpoint exactly where it was sometimes, But I don't realize it until something goes different. And I'm like, what did I do different today? Like, dang, I didn't praise. I didn't have an attitude of gratitude when I started this day. I didn't sit up and reflect on the goodness of God and on how good it is to be alive right now,
When it really, I feel like also as we move into this world where we don't have to do as much as if we don't want to, I think it's so easy for us to they loud in there. Pause. Because I like it. Okay, after we were interrupted by the children doing...
Sounded like construction workers in the kitchen.
Like fighting some ninjas in there, like trying to open a box of Capri Suns. Man, I don't even know what I was talking about, so I'm just changing something else.
This is us, y'all. Follow us down our rabbit hole.
Follow us down our rabbit holes. Like, the kids, we tell the kids, yeah.
Oh, you were talking about you... your crowd, you getting fit because you were running.
Oh, I was saying, it's like to the point where I'm trying to run away. I'm trying to hide. I want to be from the shadows. Crystal don't understand. I like the shadows. I'm like Batman.
I say it. He don't believe me. I like the shadows too, y'all. That's why I've been hiding. I've been semi-hiding these last few years, these last 10 years. She
can't help herself. She thinks she Batman, but she really want to be out like Superman, and so everybody can see.
Nah.
No. You jump at the opportunities to go.
I do opportunities, but
that's what I'm saying.
But they land me somewhere, and I be like, oh, wait a minute, wait.
That's what I'm saying. You don't. I've been trying to get you to not shun opportunities, but not to let so many opportunities overwhelm you at the same time. Because man, we're starting to understand the journey is how we enjoy the future
and how you maintain.
Yeah,
because the journey is so important. Because you can't get there and not know what to do when you get there, and not know how to act.
Some people, they so tunnel vision, they'll reach their goals, because some people are gonna reach their goal regardless, but they didn't pay attention to nothing along the way. It was so it's just like they're not happy when they get there, because like, oh dang, I can go further. I mean, they might say some people, that's what they want to do and what they need to do is just different drives, but some people, I don't think they understand that it really is a marathon. Like some people make it in a sprint, they'll sprint all the way, but is it really enjoy if you sprint through everything? Like if tomorrow, somebody, I can see, like let's say we hit the lottery. We don't play a lottery. This is just hypothetical. If we hit the lottery and $100 million richer tomorrow, you just skip straight through all this stuff. I'm not gonna want to do the probably as much of the art as I want to, because I'll be too busy trying to do other things.
You mean to pay somebody else to do it?
I know, like I don't want to get so.
You want to enjoy the process. You want to enjoy every moment of it. So you embracing this moment, you can look back, like you can remember the moment. Like when you're looking at stuff, you can be like, oh, I remember that moment, because you remember the process of you creating it yourself, your own hand in it. That hit different.
I just want we like to dream a lot here lately. And sometimes as an adult, when you someone tell people your dreams of, even if it's like a big house or this and that, it just seems kind of weird as an adult. Why is that?
Because that makes people feel some type of way. I don't know. It's something about telling somebody else your dreams. If they're not on that same page, it almost sounds like you're bragging. Because
like it gets to the point now I never dreamed as this. I just knew our life is trash. Life is always going to be trash. That's what it is. And it was extremely flawed statement.
The crazy thing is I fought the feeling of life is trash and I don't deserve to be here and I'm a burden, but I always dreamed. Like I always knew there's something bigger on the other side, that I was meant for something else. Even though that feelings told me different than what I saw, it was like those were conflicting all along. I just never let it stop me. So here I am,
Can't stop, won't stop.
Man.
I just can't. And then it's like with me, I just never wanted to do anything because I didn't know. I feel like, did I want to waste time on something just to do something? I think you helped me realize what I wanted to do, what the passion wrapped in, like that passion. Like I know certain things I like as far as hobbies. I know my hobbies. That's just what it is. I don't like to really incorporate hobbies into business, so it's always that. But you helped me realize how I can tie hobbies into business, but yet still keep my personal hobbies separated. Through like Crystalberry Farms, with able to, now you got me in this designing the shirts bug now. So I'm just like, oh.
And you enjoy it.
Yeah. And so somebody commented on one of that thing saying, oh, I don't know how I found this page because it's not really her demographic, but she enjoyed the art of the shirt. And I was like, sometimes I enjoy creating the art more than trying to sell it. Like I got so much stuff I've created.
Me too.
Man,
you be like, I thought you was gonna post that, y'all. I create. I use AI. I get on Mid Journey. I get on Easy Diffusion, and I create some beautiful stuff.
You pull things, drag into Canva.
And then he just like, why she ain't doing nothing with this? I got so many creations, y'all. My storage on my C drive is almost full, but some people might not know what that is. That's the storage on your local computer. My husband had taught me that. So,
but we got you some. I got to install this.
But he's going to install me more storage. Like he always takes care of me. And then I'm going to do some more creating. And I'll release it if I feel like it. But I'm going to start releasing more. I know. But I do be creating. Like he said, I enjoy the process more than anything else.
And it's like, just like me, if I make it and I don't post it that day, you might never see it.
That'll just be something that I created.
And I understand I'm trying to pull more into the business of it and not let the creative side ruin the business side. Because my creative side be like, hey, I created it. That's good. Now I'm good. I'm satisfied at that point. But the business side, they're like, hey man, you need to set this on to where.
Oh, when that hit me, when this lady, this mathematician, PhD, she shared one of my Black History posts that I did in February. Yeah. And it was about a mathematician. And I was looking like, dang, I posted facts about her and her story and everything, and I did different reels. I mean, I put my creative into this because I got a lot of views and comments on YouTube telling me, oh, I'm gonna show my friends at work this post. This is dope. Like, did you create this? Like, yep, I created it with facts and my creativity. I put it together myself, you know? And so for her to repost it and then follow me, the lady with the PhD, she sent me a message and told me she was speaking at Yale this week about this very, very, you know, this very same creation. And I'm like, dang. And that's when I realized my creations are nice. When I post them on, I don't even have 200 followers on TikTok, y'all. Every post I make, it gets over 200 views. A lot of times when I post one of my graphics, it goes crazy. Like, it can get so many views.
And that's the crazy thing. She has a engagement. Like she said, she only has 200 followers.
I have less than 200. I have like 170.
She has less than 200 followers. I have like 2,300, and her video gets more views than my views with 2,300 followers. So her impact just like that. And then she's starting to realize, like, you know how you never realize when you come in contact with someone and you tell them something, you never realize that sometimes they may stick with them, and then they might say like, dang, that train of thought kind of saved my life. Crystal does that. She doesn't realize it. She give people like some life bars, and not only in a negative aspect of it, she does something different, which make her different than me. She did give it the opposite of it. If you know what I'm saying, it's more of a. It's like, man, y'all don't understand the balance we're starting to. At first, it was like oil and water, you know, coming together, but it was the love, it was the passion that was there. That, of course, the faithfulness was always there. It's not even to be questioned, but you know, becoming in two people trying to come in together into one is not the easiest times. A lot of times when we come,
especially when you come from a traumatic, dysfunctional background. Oh my gosh, it's like, man, you still trying to figure out your own self, you know, to get yourself to a healthy state, but don't even want to realize or admit something's wrong with you, you know?
That's why I be like, man, I get it. The people, you know, when they talk about relationships, they want the person who's already 100%. Some people don't even know they broken out here. People don't even know they broken out here. Don't you understand? People are not even self-aware that they even exist. That's why a lot of times when they talk about the Matrix, I used to think like they was meaning like the actual Matrix. No, it's the system creates the Matrix, the mindset.
You create your own world, literally. Yeah. When they say manifestation, you manifest your own life, your own thoughts, your own perspective. Like, the only thing I can say that I don't think you manifest per se is yourself into this world, your circumstances. You know, I can't say you choose that. But everything else, like when you're self-aware and you're an adult and stuff like that, is what you're choosing. Because it can be one person, you know, deal with something, the exact same thing, exact same circumstances, exact same incomes, exact same everything, and they can still look at it differently than the exact same person, like almost like a parallel universe, the same scenario, just two different,
nothing different
perspectives.
Two
different mindsets. But take both of them totally different places.
That's crazy. It's crazy to understand. A lot of time people, their blockages and their fears was something that they create themselves. It takes a frightening experience to realize that you ultimately are the one to blame for whatever you're doing in life. I know that sounds terrible. You might have moments where it is other people's fault, but if it's something from 30 years ago and you still mad at that person, like at that point you need to see why you still mad at that person.
Nah, y'all, this when I grew up. I'm gonna share a little tidbit with you all. I grew up when I was able to admit that at this point going forward, you know, outside of the supernatural, outside of being God, anything that takes place in my life, you know, it's up to me how I react to it. Yeah. It's up to me to accept it or not. You know, it's up to me to give in or not. Yeah. It's up to me how I look at it. I can look at it as a glass half empty or a glass half full. That's up to me, you know, and I realized that literally the people that I know that are the most successful, I'm talking about personally, they are the ones that choose to look at the bright side. That don't mean that they don't have problems. Yeah. That don't mean that they don't go through stuff just like everybody else, but that's not what they choose to focus on. They choose to focus on what is right. They choose to focus on joy, focus on the moment, realizing tomorrow's not even promised to you anyways. So why worry so much about tomorrow and not enjoy today when you have today, right now? Why you focusing on tomorrow and not enjoying today because of tomorrow? So anyway,
and the thing is, this thoughts and this mindset of the people who do the AA meetings got like one of the best mindsets in how they handle with real struggles. They
understand the mind, the patterns and habits.
They understand.
You change it a little, you build upon a little bit at a time.
That one day you can only wear one day. It only matters. The only thing that matters is the one day. Like really, when they think about it, not having to drink today. That's the only thing I'm focused on. That's the only thing I'm going to. And that's the same thing with anything. You want to learn how to do something and you don't know where to start. Start YouTube. Just watch one video, short video, 3 to 5.
I'll break another one down for you. Okay, let's say affirmations, right?
Yeah.
Say my book, 10 affirmations for healing.
Yeah.
A guided journal for moving past emotional pain. Okay, take one of those, the first affirmation, like for real, just to tell yourself this, because this like when you in the midst of your situation and you feeling like stuff not gonna be okay, you can't see it being okay because you looking too big. You looking at tomorrow right now. Yeah. Don't worry about tomorrow right now. Just focus on right now. This coming from somebody that dealt with, negative, depressive thoughts, intrusive thoughts, not wanting to live type of thoughts. So I'm just telling you the real what you got to do to catch yourself, to ground yourself, right? So like, that's why the first one is, I will be okay. It's okay. I'm going to be okay. It might not feel like it. Can't even see it right now. But guess what? It's going to be okay. You tell yourself this and you keep on saying it until you believe it. And even if you don't believe it, you keep on saying it and you hold on to that. A
lot of times we don't realize when we go to sleep at night, we will wake up the next day. And
that one word, one phrase.
You can't get to tomorrow skipping today. It's just, you can't get to tomorrow skipping today. I can't, you know what I'm saying? This is just,
I got a little bit too passionate over here, y'all. I had to catch myself.
Hey.
That's what he be wanting me to do in front of people. And he the only person that really gets this. That's why he wanted to do a podcast. Because he says, you know what? He said other people need to hear you the way you are with me and the conversations we have together.
I can't do no podcast with just me and we done got us canceled. So I need her to balance us out. So we can talk about some real stuff because I want to. I'll crack jokes all day. So, but
that works too.
No, it's a
laughter's good for the soul. But he married to a very serious person and he knows it.
Like I was gonna post today. When I met my wife, she was ruled by rules and I was unruly. Like we've came to the part where we're starting to blend into hitting that middle zone, that what's that, absolute zero, where we're able, I don't know. I'm trying to mix in. We've been watching some crazy I don't know if it's pseudoscience or if it's a good theory, but we're not gonna get into that. But they're just speaking on absolute zero in this quantum mechanic, quantum computing. So
quantum physics, all of it.
Anyway, I'm not going to bore you
metaphysics,
with that.
cyber.
It's just when it's like if you in the hustle bustle every day and you don't know what's going on, you don't even realize how far in the future you are. You so behind already if you don't know. That's how scary. I'm not gonna make it scary.
I'm still catching up,
exciting.
y'all.
That's how exciting. That's how exciting and scary this future is when we're heading to. I don't know. It's just, they're easing on, but I'm already looking past. There's something bigger past the AI, and it's scary.
Oh no, we ain't gonna get to talking about all that now.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying.
They can go on their journey if they want to go.
I'm saying if you're using AI, if they're making you think AI is scary, then quantum computing is the boogeyman. If you want to just think about it that way, but it's. As a nerd like me who embraces change, sometimes willingly and unwillingly, because changing ain't easy always. I like certain things to be like the way they go, but it is what it is. I can't have my way. So anyway, that's beside the point, but you know what I'm saying. Let's get off the nerd stuff. But yeah, he
went all the way there.
Let me tell you why this woman, she don't understand what type of stuff I'm into. So she'll start getting me going with this mindset. So I'm like, I'll be trying to rest my brain. She don't understand that. She think I just don't want to listen to the mindset stuff. She don't understand how my brain started going. I'm ready. I can't sleep all night because I'm thinking about how can I incorporate quantum computing into agriculture? And we don't even have I can't even buy a quantum computer right now. It's just now starting to have them where at the commercial lease and the government's scared. They don't even know what to do with them because I didn't understand how crazy it was. I'm just like, how could we be here in George Jetson era and the government won't barely even talk about it? You gotta look for some of this stuff. All right, that's over. Don't do me like this was your fault. You put on that video.
That was good. Y'all hear his passion coming out, talking about all this scientific wormhole, black hole type stuff.
I'm just testing myself, seeing how I can. I always like to downplay sometimes about, I can't, but I'm like, what if I can? So, that's when you start asking when you start, like what dude said, you have to level. Once you start leveling out, you start asking yourself like, dang, what if I can? What can I do? When you're going down, but you level, like always talk about on the leadership thing, when you just start level out to everything, you start able to see some of the mistakes and why you kept on sinking. So you're able to keep yourself afloat, not doing those things keep you sinking, but you still kind of moving sideways. Then you start wondering like, dang, you start open because you're not so stressed about down here because you're above that, and that could be things like getting there. Like, let's say you pay down all your credit cards, so now you don't have to worry about credit cards. Keep some of that, take some of that stress and start seeing how you can use that lack of debt to further. It's just certain things like that. And I know in this world we're so caught up trying to do things overnight. I swear I wish that was a thing, but it only makes sense. It's like magic. And on this version of Earth there is no magic yet. So I'm sorry I just hijacked into a mindset of future rant. I don't know. I just refuse to be behind intellectually from anybody.
Yeah, he forced me to get back. For years, I did not touch a computer, laptop really at all. Facts. Even though he tried to get me back into it. And it was really because I did not like the one that I had messed up. It wasn't working the way I wanted to. Kept disconnecting from the internet. Yeah. It was giving me a lot of issues. So it was just for me. I was like, I'd rather not do it. I'd rather get on the tablet and play a game or something. Yeah. That's where I was.
I was just like, baby, it's a whole world out here.
And so finally for Christmas one year, he bought me one. It was maybe a few years ago too.
Yeah. It really wasn't that long ago.
It was 2021.
Yeah, this is
2020. He bought me a tablet.
That 2020, the Christmas 2020.
Wow.
This is what I told you when the world stopped.
I just really got back into
it. It seemed like we always been doing
internet,
this.
And it felt like I ain't missed no time. I spent way more time because I was not really using the internet from 2012. I'm not the internet child. Getting on on a computer on a device like that. Yeah. For anything that was useful. Really, if you want to talk like that, other than like to buy a plane ticket or something. But I could do most of that from the phone anyways. But from 2012 to the end to December 2020 when he bought me a laptop. And then I still wasn't messing with it for a minute. And he said something to me and I started getting back on it. And it's now I got a laptop,
y'all say, she say like this was just not 10 years of please, you gotta get this technology. You can't be in the past, and this is about to get crazy.
I didn't realize he was so for real, y'all. I didn't realize how serious he was. I'm like, why is he bugging me about getting on the computer? I'm like, what that mean? What they gotta do with anything? Until I really got on it, and I'm like, oh man, this is a missing piece, right? This make everything easier.
hey, black people, you may think technology is uncool.
It's not your enemy.
But we're heading into this type of world.
Embrace it.
And don't get me twisted. A lot of people, y'all have embraced it, but our phone is not technology. That's just a phone. Mm-hmm. Get out here and understand how this technology world works. That's understanding the companies, not Apple. There's a dozen other companies out here that's more innovative than, Apple brand, which Apple is going to eat because the brand is powerful. But innovation is going to come from a lot of these other. There I go again. Man,
he loves it, y'all. He needs his own tech show, like where he have a tech hour with Phil or something, where the techies and the nerds can really come and check in. Nah, I'm for real. He laughing. I'm serious, man. They'll be all over that podcast or YouTube channel or whatever. Because it's somebody for everybody. I'm telling y'all.
It really is, man. Your people are out
there. Your people not gonna find you if you don't be yourself. That's why I learned to be myself, because I've met more quality people in my life. I'll say really over this last 5 years when I really started showing up and being myself. I learned people do like me. And the thing was, it's not that I wasn't likable, it's just that I had been through so much and had so many people that did me wrong and so many transition in relationships that I had trust issues. So it was hard to really connect with people when I really wanted to. So I didn't know. And I still have those issues to this day with my current friends. I'm trying to learn to be a real friend because of my trauma. I admit my stuff. But you know what I'm saying? When it boils down to it, it's like you said, it's like, Man,
I was blessed for my friends to find me, I guess, because
that's what I say. The people will find you when you do. When I started showing up, being myself, when I started going to the dance class, and that's what I love to do, dance. So I'm not acting when I'm there, you know, when I'm out, whatever I do,
so, like sometimes
I'm 100% me in that moment.
That's what I love. I think sometimes you was trying to cover that.
It was crossing over because I wasn't fully aware of who I was. So I was doing too much over here, taken away from over here, and I didn't know how to balance it. And that's been one of my biggest issues that comes into the depression, and then the anxiety all rolls into a big old circle, I'm
starting to not worry as much about you. Like, I always feel like I got to protect you mentally, physically, everything.
You've been doing a good job, baby.
Body. So now I'm getting to more, I'm calming down on that stress, because I'm like, oh, she do got this. She is becoming a person. She wants to be who she is, not in coming into somebody else. You come into the person you are intentionally wanting to be who you want to be. And that's what it is. It's always about who you want to be. Some people act out like me. My view of everything was jaded. It's because I chose to.
I was trying to see stuff from your perspective, so I changed who I was. And you didn't try to do that, definitely not intentionally, but that's just the type of person. After my background, understanding my background, that's just who. And it's just
my gravitational pull on the negativity is just real great. It can pull people into negativity. I guarantee it's just, I don't know what it is. It's just, but intentionally I'm changing that. So, I mean, that's all you can do, right? One day at a time. Because change ain't easy, I swear to God.
Nah, that's what we was watching Lisa Nichols. She said people come to me like, Lisa, what do I do to change? No, she say, what do I do to get to da-da-da-da? She'll be like, well, you need to change. They'll be like, change? Well, that's too hard. That's too much work. Like, oh my God, you just asked me this question. It's not going to be easy. If you really want to do it, you're going to have to sit down and figure it out and do it for real.
And I'm wrestling with all this stuff like, oh, this ain't easy. It can be done. It can be intentional. It's just, it does. A lot of stuff is going to take time, and it's going to take more time in the beginning. But the more you do in the beginning and the processes you sit.
Hey, y'all, I'm going to ask him a question. Testing. Question.
Yeah.
Any of these greats, any of the mindset people, what is the first thing they tell you have to do in order to start creating the life you want?
Change.
You got to set goals.
And people don't realize that.
You can start smaller than that. Set goals. Like Jim Rohn, he'll tell you, set goals. He said, show me a man without a plan. I can show you his future. You don't have a plan, you don't know where you're going. You got a plan to know where you're going. And that be our problem most of the time. We don't know where we want to go.
And that was my thing. That's why I didn't want to do nothing, because I was like, I don't know what I want to do. I didn't realize that I could have been doing anything. It's just, the 90s was a different time with our parents who survived the crack 80s or whatnot, growing up through the 80s. And it was just straight survival. You didn't know that any of this stuff existed. You've seen astronauts on TV, you've seen politicians on TV, but it kind of seemed like that was a whole different world to me. That's how I felt. So I had no one being like, man, you can, even though people was doing stuff like that, never just been like, they never gave you the reason or how, or I don't know. It was always just go to college. So go to college.
Yeah, mine was go to college too, but I ate that idea up. But at the same time, that same idea put so much pressure on me that I felt like a failure when I went to the military. And then going to the military was like the best thing I could have had ever done at that point in my life. I wasn't ready for college. I didn't know what the heck I wanted to do. Why would I go get in debt or do all this for something I didn't want to do.
And the thing is with that is, it's like they tell you go to college and you be cool with the ideal, but they never be like, why? Like, what's going to go on? It just never gave any options of college, what college is, what it means to be in college, what college means to the world, all of that ins and outs. I guess you have to kind of learn that along the way. I always, now as a 41-year-old male, I'm like, dang, they just didn't know.
Yeah, I feel like college is great,
yes,
like for specialization, but after you know what you want to do. So after you done lived a little bit of life or something, and then you go back and you get that specialization because you want to. Because when I go back to get my PhD, it's because that's what I want to do.
You know what you want to do.
I know what I want to do. I'm not learning because I want this education to say, oh, I got a degree. No, because I love it. I love learning. So why not put it together?
Now, some people, if you go into college and you niche down what you want to do in life, college
that's awesome.
Is perfect for
some
you
people
right
do
there.
That. Awesome, yeah.
But if you like me, I just went in just like get a degree. If you the goal is just to get a degree, you're not.
But some people do great though. They start somewhere that's not what they want to do, but then they end up going from job to job, not marrying a career and going from place to place and building their value, building their skills, building their network, and then they end up eventually doing their passion. So they be using it to eventually fund their passion too.
Yep.
And some people cool with just going somewhere, sitting down, and just being stable. I
don't. You know what? I don't think so. I just think this is.
I think more so the older generation.
No, man. I just think people don't understand there's something else. I think a lot of times we're just not self-aware of anything, not our surroundings. Don't get it twisted. Some people are extremely happy in a job. It's not the thing, but some people know that this really want to work at though. That's what I'm saying. Sound different. See the differences? Some people know that. Some people don't understand why they're unhappy. It's not because they're working a job. We tend to think it's because we're working a job. No, it's we're working the wrong kind of job. If you're a person like to work with their hands, but you at a call center, you might be unhappy. Like me, I was unhappy working at the call center, but when I went to work at Safe Light, I like, I can do this.
When the environment was good, you was good. The
environment was very toxic. So,
and I didn't think that you would even like something like that. And you went there and you did.
My brother didn't either. They just thought I was some computer dude. Came like, dude, I can do anything I want to do.
I know, you surprised me too. I was like, oh man. I was like, I knew my man was a man. My man's a man. I'm like, he going there throwing his glass, getting on these big old 18 wheels.
My kryptonite is with me is just that I gotta wanna do it. That's the thing. I don't like doing stuff just to do stuff, and I'm trying to work through that. Like I can do some things, but I don't know. It's like I feel so much of my life doing stuff because I had to do stuff. So now I only do stuff because I want to do stuff, and that's
a different feeling, huh?
Yeah, it gives me the power. I do have the power, but I'm just like, dang, it's so much of a rule I put on myself that it's always automatic. That so like now I'm living to like I can do it if I want to not. I won't not, but maybe just like with doing Tony's design, I got 100 things I need to be doing too. But I'm like, you know what? Maybe I can do this. You know, I can help. So that's me becoming better. Of course, it's gonna still make me a little grouchy sometimes, but it's a battle. It's constant. I wish I was perfect.
Hey, don't we all? I wish it was 50 of me.
Oh,
but that can't happen.
Man, can you imagine Crystalshares and Crystalberry Farms with 50 of us out here? Man, now we probably be in arguments with ourselves all day.
Get nothing done. It'll be that circle, that unending circle, that pretzel fold in on itself.
And that's why I'm just like, man, like my wife, when we first got together, I'm gonna tell her a secret. She thought it was a con that we were different. Like
I tried to make you be me.
I didn't try to make her be me, but she ended up gravitating towards me. But she tried to make me be her, and
that didn't work. So I had to go the other way to connect.
Then I think I come into her way sometimes, where a point she'd be annoyed from something that she brought me over. Because I be wanting like, hey, we got to do a schedule. We got to do this and this. She'd be like, chill out. I was like the wind, you know.
But he was the one that's like, I don't like to go to stuff late. We had to be there early. Oh, I hated that, y'all. I never was an early person. I was late. I got my first and only C in undergrad at ORU for showing up to class late too many times. Yeah. That's the one thing that'll get me, showing up late. I've gotten B's in classes I was supposed to have an A in because I couldn't get to class on time. Then I get to marry somebody talking about, we gotta be early or we late. I'm like, oh my
Man,
God. And now I be on it and he don't even be caring about the time and I'm on it. He like, what has happened? Now I'm doing stuff that he used to do and he don't like it.
I started to live like her, like, oh, this feels free out here in this mug. Like, what? I'm not worried about no clocks. I'm telling, man, I'm not giving too much of my secrets.
Right, you telling me everything.
I'm not even gonna say no more about that. But man, I get it how I get it. Like sometimes you just like, man, F that. Well, what day is it? I don't know.
I know I have to ask the people where I'm at. They're probably like, what is wrong with her? She's smoking or something.
No, but, man, so it's about really opening up who we are and we becoming close. So that means we have to invite each other to our world.
That's what I told you when we went into each other's, really trusted each other enough to let each other into each other's world. That's when our worlds together changed, and within that, our real self changed too. Because
we know we love each other, but we trust issues. Like not like I never
just background, just life.
And it's just so not saying that I didn't trust her like she was gonna be unfaithful. It was on a trust her with the deepest,
to judge him thoughts, or desires. Accept him or whatever, just same vice versa.
Yeah, so you kind of scared to let that off, and then we started letting that off, and then we started like, dang, let me come into her world and see.
Like the more you tell, like the more I share myself, the closer we were, because then he really was understanding me. Like, oh man, okay, I see why you do what you do. And me too. I was like, oh my God, if I would have known that, that's different. Then when I look back at our relationship, I'll be like, wow, that was big when you did this and that I didn't even realize it, you know. So,
and it's crazy. The back testing is so, and only reason, let me tell you, man, we run in like over an hour.
So that means we can, it's places you might,
look at her trying to divide
I try to split up the episode, y'all. He won't let us. He like, no, we got to keep the continuity. I'm like, okay.
It just sounds so powerful. Like
when it flows together.
Flows like this. And it's just like, when I think what taught us to back test is when we started learning stock markets and how the numbers move.
How you can go back and spot exactly where you made your mistake.
Patterns. It got us feeling patterns then. And somehow it was just transferred to, why do we love each other? What's the issue? Then we started like coming together, like, we started seeing each other. Want to back test this.
Like that's why you can get to me more than anybody else in this world, because I care about you more. Like in that sense, like you have access to unlimited access to me. So of course, I'm gonna react to you.
And it's like we are passionate, we are hard-headed sometimes, and we want the best for each other. Sometimes we're trying to push one another to be 100 times what they are ready for at this moment, even though we know there's the potential. We just try to make it, I don't know, overnight thing. So I think sometimes we might get impatient with each other like that, trying to, like, you don't see it, you don't see how great you are, I see it. Of course I see it. I see you. You know what I'm saying? You may have, we all deal with self-doubt, so that's what it is. You may be doing self-doubts and I see you as, you what? You know what I'm saying? So I think that kind of, when we started realizing like, dang, let me chill out. She got this. It's been when you start back testing and realize, we stumbled this, but this is different. You mastered this back here you was having issues with 5 years ago. You know, you mastered these things 3 years ago. You don't even, and it's just like you start realizing, we're just like the stock market on the good stock. You go up, you take some bad dips, you take some bad months, you may take a bad year, but when you forward back to the beginning of the fund, like the SPY, you'll see that, when you pull it out to 20 years or so, it's been open 20, 30 years, it look like it's going just on a straight, steady climb. Yeah. But when you live in day to day, you may have bad days, but you got to think about when you stretch it out over the past 20 years, how have you been? Yeah. So that's what it is. It's like, it's not so focused on the past, but sometimes you got to see, why am I doing it? I've done this mistake before. How do I keep making the same mistake? Go back and see. That was so obvious.
Probably something very similar, if not the same thing.
So it's not easy. It's sometimes sometimes I don't like to think about stuff. And that's just, but so when you do, it's like, dang. You just gotta be ready for it. And that's what the whole life of the journey, get wiser. I mean, we couldn't be born on this earth wise, because we would never make no decision. So you gotta stumble, you gotta learn lessons, you gotta become wise, and you gotta grow. Be ready for change. You ain't gotta like it. but know that it will be there.
Yeah.
Anyways, we went quite long. You wanna add something?
No. Basically, just want to say, I know it sounds cliche, but stay encouraged even when it gets hard.
Yeah.
Because even out of the hard times, you can take your failures, your mistakes, your pains, and use them for fuel, and build off of them, learn from them, still be grateful for the good things that you have left. When you don't have nothing else, you feel like you don't have nothing else to hold on to. Just hold on to that moment, like, okay, I'm gonna be all right. If I can get through this, I'm gonna be good. That's all I want to say. Because it's real out here. I know it is.
And with that being said too, Jim Rohn, if you want to listen to someone who's going to smack you with some words, sometimes I know some people that went up with like a rough life, sometimes they need some of them words to smack you sometimes and be straightforward. Jim Rohn says, don't act like you don't know it's coming. What happens after spring, summer, and fall every year? Winter.
Every year.
Cycles. So every time winter comes, don't act surprised like you've never seen winter before. Not saying that it's going to make winter easier. It just gives you better prepared to handle a winter, and then appreciate your spring, your summer, and your falls, Yeah. But after winter, what is it? Spring. Every time. And that's, if you back test your life, I mean, 9 times out of 10, you've had good times and bad times. What do you focus more on? We sound like we over trying to be some preachers, some mindset preachers.
Your daddy said you was a preacher. No.
Hey, I am not this serious in real life.
Sometimes, y'all. Sometimes. Yeah.
But I don't know. Sometimes we really just be having conversations with each other, and I forget sometimes the mic even on. I have to keep on looking over here and make sure that we actually are recording. So, but hey, thank you for this is episode 8.
Yeah, something like that, baby.
Did you think, man, when I cooked up the idea over a year ago and we didn't do no episode to this year, did you think we'll be into this would be?
I definitely didn't think we'd be well into it at this point.
Dang, we sound good too, but hey, check us out, Crystalshares.com. Check out our shirts. You want to know information about, Crystalberry Farms or, man, it's so much going on.
If you purchase a shirt or a book from Crystalshares.com, every purchase actually goes towards us building and getting Crystalberry Farms up and running and ready for this community, for this impact, y'all. So thank you very much. We so appreciate y'all.
Oh, we got something. I'm not gonna talk about the little thing I'm going to do.
We're gonna tell y'all everything else next time.
Yeah.
Okay, y'all. We out. Thanks for joining us.
Peace out.
Good night.